she like looks at you and that girl and she goes, what the is she doing here? And I said, who? That fucking girl on your cousin's lap. Why the is she here? Fucking hoe! Can't even afford to keep your own kids! And I'm like, what the is going on here? Welcome to Achieving Failure, a podcast about the adventures of life. I'm your host, Chris, and join us each week as we bring you a collection of autobiographical stories that made us who we are. From the glitz and the glamour to hitting rock bottom, this is Achieving Failure. You too can almost be somebody. Today's episode, me and Mike are back. Me and Mike are back for part 2. This is how we're going to start today's episode. We're doing today's episode by talking about fucking Florida. We finished off part 1. We're back for part 2 because Chris came back 4 weeks later. And all of this within like the last 2 months that I'm living there. Well, that's because I was on a time crunch. It was like, I'm either coming back to visit you or I'm going to see you in San Diego. So I was like, you know what? I had so much fun seeing my stripper girlfriend that I needed to come back and see my cousin one more time. You know, making him feel better, saying I'm going to come see him. The first stop I made was the strip club.
Yeah.
Right off the plane. So I flew into Miami, and apparently, as luck would have it, nothing worked at Miami. The bus system was down, the tram system was down, the escalators are down, the elevators are down.
You said something along the lines of like whether they were doing construction or something, like the elevators and the escalators weren't even working.
The fucking stairs were broken. The stairs were taped off. I said, how do I get anywhere? And they said, oh, just go. I go to information. I said, I need to get to so-and-so. I need to get to this department so I could get the tram, so I could go get the rental car. They said, oh, go over there. I said, that elevator's broken. And they go, oh. So I spent forever wandering around this godforsaken fucking airport.
Basically left hand, left wall, right hand with a torch looking out for minotaurs.
Yeah, so fuck that airport. Finally got my rental car, and I proceeded to start driving. And I think from Miami to where you're at was 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours, something like that.
Yeah, it's 3.5 to 4 depending on traffic, but
so,
3.5 to 4.
I'm driving middle of the night. I was supposed to be there by 7
hours earlier.
Yeah, I didn't get there till like midnight. I was so delayed. I start driving 3.5 hours, Key West, Florida, mainland, cool. I'm driving. As soon as I almost leave the peninsula of Florida, boom, it changes to traffic delay, takes you 10 hours. And I said, what?
This is on your GPS.
This is on my GPS. Suddenly switches to major accidents, 10 hours. It's going to take me 10 hours to get there. My plane has already been delayed. I've already had a nervous breakdown in Miami, Florida. And now you're telling me my 3-hour trip has now been extended by 7 fucking hours. Which, again, I got there in 3.5 hours. I said, what the fuck was that all about? There's nobody on the road. What the fuck is going on? I think it was just one of those, like, the gods were just playing with my anxiety. Yeah, I went right back to the strip club while she's working.
Yeah, you didn't even stop at the apartment first, you did. Yeah. You just went straight to the strip club to go see this girl. She's working, so the first thing she's going to do is ask you for money.
Yeah. So immediately I pull out $200 and I go, whatever happened last time, this ain't it. She's so excited to. Well, first off, let me backpedal.
You're already 10% of the way there. $200. That's already like 10% of what you gave me last time.
Let me backpedal. I walk in and I go, hey, my cousin Mike might be here. I go, oh yeah, Mike, yeah, don't no cover. Come on in. I walk in.
Literally 4 weeks later, and my legacy still lives. That not only did some of them actually recognize you a little bit from your escapade there. You just walk in and like, yeah, so my cousin Mike, and you didn't even get to finish the sentence. They're like, no cover, come on in.
So I walk in looking for Gorilla Face. I guess I was that drunk that she looked beautiful, but when I saw an actual picture of her, I said, oof, this is, I might have made a mistake. I walk in and I see this absolutely drop dead gorgeous Spanish girl called Mercedes. And you know Mercedes. Yeah. Fucking hell.
Mercedes is actually a friend of mine.
Yeah. So I walk up and she goes, hey, how you doing? I said, a lot better now. And then who's sitting right next to her? Gorilla Face.
Gorilla Face.
And I said, fuck, I fucked up. I gave $2,000 to the wrong stripper. I'm sitting there. It's a very uneventful evening because I just kind of sat there just bullshitting with her. And she goes, you want to get a lap dance? I say, I have never been so goddamn bored during a lap dance. Like, I'm just sitting there watching the gum on the ceiling during this lap dance. I couldn't wait to leave. I just said, I gotta go, and I left. The next day, however...
Yeah, so we walked around because you actually wanted to see a little bit of Key West that wasn't just the bars.
Yeah.
And then we walked over to Garden of Eden because...
Yes, and Garden of Eden was something that a friend of mine who recently went there on her honeymoon suggested I check out. And I said, well, what's Garden of Eden? And all she said was, just go check it out.
So
now,
it is the only clothing optional bar in all of Key West, and it basically sits on the top floor of these 3 bars.
What I told Mike when I went was I was told to go check out Garden of Eden, but I was also told, don't really ask. Just go experience it. So
sure, we can do that. I've got a friend that works there, and I think she's working right now.
We go upstairs, and I see this big old sign, clothing optional. I said, oh boy, what am I getting myself into? We walk in, and there's a bar. There's the bar. I mean, half the people were clothed. Of course, the people that were actually naked were like old people. All I had to do was hang out there for 5 seconds. Because as soon as Mike turned the corner, the bartender, who's a very beautiful redhead, completely topless with a kind of a skirt on, goes, Mike, woo! And I said...
Once again, this is another place that I walk into, and the bartender is immediately, Mike's here!
Woo! Playing with her boobs. And I said, what the fuck? But... And then Mike goes, I would like to introduce you to my cousin Chris. He's here visiting. And she does this, whoa, Chris. And she does this cheerleader kick. And I said, okay, I've now been here for 10 seconds and I've seen your tits and your vagina. I said,
and she just looks up again and says, get a good look.
Yeah. And I said, well, can I get a Malibu and Coke, I guess?
So, and then the funny thing is it turns out I actually went to high school with her at one point.
I really didn't know what to expect, but I was also not expecting to have such a friendly, almost a homecoming welcome.
Yeah, that's the weird thing, right? Like you walk into this place and you kind of figure that it's going to be either really reserved or people are going to be super awkward or they're just going to be letting the flag fly. You don't think that it's going to be like, dude, you're here. So good to see you, coming over, giving us naked hugs and stuff.
Yeah. So just again, casual. I mean, after that, there's really nothing crazy eventful. We had a couple drinks, bullshitted, and went to another bar. And
I mean, this is what I tell you. Every place that we went, whether it was that first trip or that second trip, with me, you're always going to have some kind of ridiculous adventure.
Yeah. So we go to Teasers, which is an upstairs bar, upstairs strip club. And the one thing I kind of laughed the most, and this is probably at all the memorable stuff, the fact that you didn't pay for anything because you just kind of bullied your way in to everywhere.
Oh, yeah,
that required.
I walked straight past the bouncer.
You're just like, the guy's like, it's $10. Be like, no, I live here, whatever. And you just go walk inside. And I just kind of like looked at him. I said, oh. And we just go inside. I said, what the fuck was that? He's like, I'm a resident. I'm not paying for this shit.
Okay, first of all, I never said I was a resident. I just said, again, I don't pay for shit I don't have to.
So we go in.
Like, I don't pay covers.
So we go in. We go in. We sit at the bar, bullshit and having a drink. Of course, you get swarmed by girls.
That's true. I forgot that I just walked past the bouncer.
One girl sits in my lap. Another girl sits in Mike's lap. And Mike is having a completely different conversation. I'm having a completely different conversation.
I'm having like a pleasantries conversation. We're engaging, we're chit-chatting. You and, the girl I sat on your lap are having a much more lascivious conversation than what we were having.
Well, it wound up being she was from like New York City area. And I said, holy shit, like what part of New York City? Or Staten Island, I don't know, some bullshit like that. But we're kind of just bullshitting about food and this and that. And then she just like looks. She like looks at you and that girl and she goes, "What the fuck is she doing here?" And I said, "Who?" That fucking girl on your cousin's lap. Why the fuck is she here? That fucking stupid bitch. I said, whoa, like what? She goes, "That fucking bitch, she can't even afford her own goddamn child support. Tell her to go away. She's just fucking drama." And I was like, okay, no. Fuck that bitch. Fucking hoe can't even afford to keep your own kids. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? I was
At that
like,
point that I hear that, that's when I like take her back for a dance. I'm like, whatever this is, let's go and ignore that that's happening. I'll let my cousin deal with that.
and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was like, we're not even talking. It's just out of nowhere.
We only been there like 10 minutes. We had just walked in.
So
I just love the idea of like, what is she doing here? You mean the other stripper who clearly works here?
yeah.
Like, what do you think she's doing here? The same thing you are, trying to like use their body to make a buck.
So it wound up being me and her were kind of just bullshitting, and I said, "Hey, you know what? What are you doing after this? Me and him are getting out of here. This is fuck this. We're going downstairs. There's a bar downstairs."
Yeah, it was after that, and we're like, okay, fuck that.
Yeah.
Whatever is happening there, fuck that. We want no part of it.
Yeah, we're like, fuck this. We're going to the bar. We're going to the bar downstairs. Hey, crazy bitch. If you get off work soon, if you want to join us for a drink, we're going to be downstairs at this bar.
You invite your own casualty. Like you instigate your own mugging is what this is going to eventually turn into. Now we're downstairs. We're leaving teasers. You tell the your girl who's sitting out front now having a cigarette, if she wants to meet up with us, we're going to be heading to the XYZ place. She tells you, "I am waiting for my boyfriend." And you're like, "Yeah, fuck him. It's fine. Come with us anyway." We start walking over, and on the walk, there's somebody that recognizes me who must have been an acquaintance or somebody I met once that all of a sudden had like this great pitch that he wanted to tell us about.
Yeah, that guy.
Like, he heard that because like in the introduction, Chris is like, "Well, I'm doing some like video stuff down here." And the guy like immediately starts off like, "Cool, how can I help your business?" Like just completely inserted himself into this perfect stranger's life. Like this guy who doesn't know Chris at all is now like looking at trying to become a partner in his business, and it just wildly uncomfortable and completely wrong. So we walk into the karaoke place. I turn around and Chris has fucking disappeared.
Yeah, I ditched this guy. I was like, yo, fuck it, I'm out of here. Because he's like, okay, this is what we got to do. We got to go to the bank. You got good credit? I said, I got good credit. Here's the thing. Got to pull out $100,000 on a business loan, and I'm getting a 10% finder's fee. And then what we got to do is we got to set up a shop. Yeah.
Because now, for whatever reason, now he's walking with us.
Yeah.
So
And I mean,
okay.
like, walking with us, like we've already walked a couple blocks, and it's like he's still with us.
Yeah. So at this point, now I'm like, okay, we're clearly walking the same direction.
So what I do is I did something. I don't even know what I did. I stopped to bend over and touch my toes. They kept walking, and I immediately just kind of hopped into this like Asian restaurant, and I walked right in and just sat at a table. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I was like, it's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah. So I start looking around, and I have no idea where you went. The guy and his friend have disappeared, presumably looking for you because he really wants to get into this business. I track him down to this Asian place. I sit down next to him. We order some snacks, and I go, "So that was fucking a thing, wasn't it?" We go back over to the karaoke joint, and I walk in, and there's like a list of like 12 people that want to sing before me. I just walk up, I hand him mine, and like, I'm now the third person in line.
So, and this is kind of where I come back into frame because I start doing shots of Rumpelmans.
Yeah, well, they didn't have Rumpelmans, but they had another high alcohol peppermint schnapps.
Goldschlager.
Was it Goldschlager?
They had Goldschlager because fuck you. So maybe that's what it was. It was Goldschlager. So I'm just doing shots of Goldschlager. So what happened was I'm pounding shots now, waiting on this stripper girl to show up, and
Who's not coming, by the way.
She showed up. I went to go meet her. And then me and her got into a screaming match on the sidewalk in front of these Australian strippers about how I wasn't there to like hold the door open for her. I was like, what? I said, I thought you were waiting for your boyfriend. Now you're yelling at me because I'm not present. I said, what is going on here? Mike is up there.
I think I was doing a Pearl Jam song or something.
Yeah, you were singing a Pearl Jam song, doing your best Eddie Vedder impression, and I walk up. Now, if you could kind of picture it, you just have your regular stage, you just have a little small stage, and Mike's sitting there with his microphone, and I think I have a picture of it. As far as the stage, Mike's singing there. He's got a bar stool to his right, and he's standing there on the stage singing Pearl Jam. I walk up with a shot glass, and I put it on the bar stool.
And just walk away.
And I just walk away. And what wound up happening was there was a break in the song, kind of like an instrumental solo, whatever it was.
I mean, it was not even a long solo. It was like a musical interlude. And I'm like, in this interlude, because it goes from lyrics to a quick interlude to lyrics again. And I know the song well enough. So I'm like, all right, cool. He puts down a shot next to me. I'm not going to like puss out on stage in front of everybody. So as soon as the music interlude hits, I hit it, then realized what he had just done to me. And as I tried to start the lyrics up again, all of a sudden I'm like, it's raspy and flat, off key, and it's like, whew. And I finally get it back, but that was such a fucked up thing to do to a guy.
I'm over there laughing my ass off because his facial reactions of, I'm doing good with this song. Ooh, shot. Yeah, boom. Right. Take the shot. That was good. Wait, what was that? Oh, fuck. What was that? Oh, shit. I can't. And then you got to do that. And I'm just fucking laughing because now you're mid-song. You can't puss out trying to finish the song. You can't breathe because all that, like, whatever, it's completely clearing out all your sinuses.
Oh, and yeah. Like I mean, whether it was Goldschlager or Rumplemans, whatever it was, it just drained my sinuses.
I'm fucking dying laughing. I then proceeded to get thrown out of the bar because I'm now just causing it. I'm just being a menace to society.
Did you get thrown out of there?
I think she cut me off.
Oh, she cut you off, but she didn't throw you out. The bartender did a song with me.
Did she? I think another bartender took over, and I just turned around. I just started doing shots for the rest of the night.
So largely, that was most of what the rest of the trip was like. Because then the next day, we kind of did a recovery day, and then the last day was a little bit more drinking, and then had to get your ass to the airport because this was such a quick turnaround.
Yeah,
like it was like a 2.5 day trip, 3 day trip.
Yeah, the thought is in process. We kind of have maybe thought about adopting random shot karaoke or Rumpleman's karaoke.
Oh,
where you go out to sing karaoke, and somebody's getting a shot. Some song, doesn't matter which one it is. You don't know it's coming, but at some point, somebody's going to put a shot on the stool next to you, and you got to do it in the middle of your song. And you got to finish it.
Wow, what a moment that was! Like just the recognition. I can only imagine what my face looked like when I realized what you had just done to me.
And I'm sitting there. I'm calling my friend Joey. I'm sending him this complete incoherent voice recording of me just cackling.
Yeah, you could barely
like
get
some old, fat, middle-aged woman, and it's just 3 minutes of. And he's like, "Dude, what the fuck is going on over there?"
Hey, you know, Chris, we always make our own fun, and that kind of is like what this whole thing comes down to. Like, this is the reason why we've never done anything fantastic with our lives. I don't have a recording career because I'm busy doing, barstool shot karaoke.
Maybe we should trademark that. Barstool shot karaoke. Because, I mean, why stop at Rumpleman's? Why not just do, like, a shot of tequila?
Four Horsemen.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Okay. Hey, guys, if you're listening
or you're going to get a torpedo.
Or, guys, hey, everybody, if you're listening to it, if that's a good idea, let us know. And
let us know in the comments. Yeah, tell us if you'd like to play this game.
yeah, let us know in the comments if this is a thing that should be adopted. I feel like maybe a variation is, but I feel like there's so many stupid drinking games out there that it's just like nobody's really incorporating that with karaoke.
Well, even better, try it out. Send us your clips and just let us know what the shot was and what song it was supposed to be. Because it's not going to be that afterwards.
I think the stakes get higher after once you start mixing and matching. And I mean, like, it could be a total. You could
after you do it to your friend, and you can't tell them you're going to do it. After you do it to your friend, the stakes get higher when it comes to payback.
And I mean, like, it could be something like a total fake out too. Like, you get them a shot of Tequila Rose, which looks like Pepto-Bismol, but it tastes good. It's not that bad, but you're like, what the fuck? What did you just put in front of me? Why is this a thick pink drink? Oh my God.
Or you hand them a shot and you tell them, or you don't even tell them what it is because that would ruin the whole thing. But it looks like vodka, looks like Rumpelmints, turns out being a shot of water, and just watch him cringe as he tries to swallow water during a song.
Too busy up there.
There's a lot of ways that this could go.
You're up there trying to sing Freebird, and it's, I'm free. Oh, it's just water. Now you fucked up the whole guitar solo and the whole song.
You just start whimpering. You can see like you're holding the microphone, your hand holding the shot is shaking.
Hey, this is your host, Chris again. I would like to say thank you so much for tuning into this week's episode of Achieving Failure, and we hope you enjoyed our adventures. We'd also love to hear from you. Join us on Instagram and Twitter to give us your feedback. Links will be in the description. And if you have a life story you want to share with us, shoot us an email at AFLVpodcast@gmail.com. That's AF, Achieving Failure, LV, Las Vegas, podcast@gmail.com. Thanks again, and we'll see you next week.